authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another Reader's Magnet featured author interview. We are currently live in all our streaming platforms YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And my name is Kimmy, and I am your host for today. And together with me right now is one of the Reader's Magnet featured authors, here to talk more about his journey as an author and the inspiration behind his book. We have Harold Kooden, author of the book Golden Man, the Power of Gay Midlife 2022 edition. Hi, Harold. How are you today?
Good. I'm fine.
Uh, that's good to hear. I think the best way to start off this interview, Harold, is to introduce yourself to our audience. You can probably share a part of you to them.
Okay. Well, I've been a therapist, a clinical psychologist for over 50 years. And though I was working principally in community mental health, at one point I started seeing a lot of individual clients. And because I was publicly out at that time in the 70s in New York City, it was pretty rare for anyone to be out publicly. And so I started having a lot of gay men coming to see me. And the first, I would say, onslaught were men who had tried to stop being gay, had gone through either psychoanalysis or intensive therapy with no results. And they sought me out because I was an openly gay therapist. They also, because they were older, were dealing with aging issues as well. And then over the years, I kept seeing more and more gay men who were dealing with aging issues. And it occurred to me as I was working with them that they had, in their experience of coming out, having to deal with issues in a way that taught them some very important lessons about how to deal with life. And I saw that some of the lessons they had learned were exactly lessons that would be helpful in learning to deal with aging. So that sort of precipitated my desire to do a book that was actually not meant for people already in therapy or people living in a big city. I wanted a book that could go out to anyone living in small towns, living outside of a metropolis, where they could individually go through the book or with a bunch of friends to go through, because the book is basically two parts. The first part is sort of the theoretical understanding about gay issues, what the
Mm,
coming out process is about. And the second part of the book is a step by step exercise of how to deal with important issues around aging. And so a man could pick up the book, do it by himself, or get a bunch of friends and gather each week, because there are specific questions to be asked. And sort of, if you go through the whole book, it's about the equivalent of 4 years of therapy, but it's for people to do it by themselves or with friends. And that's why when I did the book, they originally wanted it to be a hardback, and I said no. I wanted a paperback so
perfect.
people could buy it. And so, and I was very clear in the book, since I wrote it in 2000. Um, what I was saying was that my experience has been with gay men, and basically white gay men, though there are few Hispanics, one black, but it was basically for white gay men. I didn't feel I could speak for any other group. Well,
Mm,
okay, the book came out, and I got an incredible number of feedback informations from people, both men, women, gay, non gay, black, Hispanic, who said there are things in this book that apply to them. If I make references which they don't particularly relate to, they know how to substitute their own images and their own references. And so I can say now at this point, only after having this feedback, that anyone reading this book can benefit from it.
That is such a great one. Considering that, with the feedback that you got, and you get to understand that your book is also applicable to anyone, because aging is applicable to all people, which is true. Aging is beautiful. It's a great phase in life, and you are an inspiration in terms of how you do your book, and considering that you did this so people can gather friends, probably read through, and things that they can do in line with this kind of thing. And I really love it. I really love it. Considering that I also have a grandpa. It's also gay. Is my uncle. Says my uncle. So yeah, I'm very much in love with him in terms of things and that. And he taught me a lot of things about life. And that's why I'm also excited to see you, to meet you, and to hopefully to read the book as well. I would also like to ask, Harold. You've mentioned all those things, the great experience that you had in life, the great resume and credentials and all. I've always been in awe with all those great things. What do you think is your what do you wanted? You mentioned about people wanted to really get the book, understand the book, also get to what do you call this? Do the things that's written in there. What do you think would you want them to remember you in terms of being an author?
Oh, I've been through it too.
Wow.
You know,
That
I mean, the book is about experience. It's not about a theoretical understanding. It's not about some academic,
mhm,
very dry thoughts about issues. I mean, to be blunt, when I was 14 years old, I was arrested for being gay,
mm,
and I had to go through the court system. And so I understood what it meant to be an outsider at a very early age. And so the book, in a sense, is a reflection of all my struggles too. There's nothing
wow.
in the there's really nothing in the book that isn't about what I've experienced.
Mm,
You
that
know,
is,
so
that.
well, Kim, I mean, what's important to me is that, and it started out with my belief that gay men needed to recognize that coming out was not a simple process. They had
True.
to learn so much. They had to learn to let go of the world that they came from. They had to move into another reality, which was, being gay is not the same as being homosexual. There are a lot of men who have sex with other men but are not gay, because
Mm,
gay for me implies looking to a community and that you're a part of. And to do that means literally taking your focus from here and moving it somewhere else. It's looking to a new group of people to get your support. And it means redefining yourself. And ultimately, it's an ethical issue. It means being honest to yourself and to the world around you. And
absolutely.
the reason why that applies to aging is that in aging, we leave the group that we're used to and we have to look at another group and say, oh, I'm one of them.
True.
There are similar processes, and I go into much more detail about that. But that, in a sense, people who've had to go through that process of letting go and moving on will find the book very helpful because it reinforces something they have already done.
Very interesting. I really like that, considering that I'm also on my 30s. So I really can reflect what you've mentioned about you have your group, and then you're now on the part where, yeah, I'm done with that. So that's a book that um middle-aged people can also reflect or can also relate to. Very inspiring. And I really like when you mentioned about right now the society is, evolving into something that everyone's welcome, right? Like we do have the LGBTQ communities, people and all that. Your experience way back when you were 14 and all, it was really an experience that I what I would say is helping you, molding you to be a better person and creating this masterpiece that you did way back 2000. Now you had your 2022 edition, and I was just really amazed how you are inspired with your life and create that, made a book out of it, and sharing it to the world and for the people to also understand themselves at some point. Like, you know, I'm this, and I should be proud. I should embrace of who I am, and be a gift to other people, which is very, very good. And just to ask as well, Harold, for my last question, what's the best advice that you would like to give to younger writers who aspire to create or to write books about their experiences?
Um, write from your experience. Don't write
Nice.
about the experience, but write from it.
Oh, that's something it's about, not the experience. It's
Right.
what do you call this? It's very deep, right? But people can really see and understand the authors based on what he has written, and it's something, and it's a great one. And I'm right now very inspired to really read your book after this interview. If given a time, and with the busy schedules and all. All right. Anything? Yes.
Yes, I want to say the book, which I'm supposed to show you, you know,
Yes. There. It's a good
that's the
one.
book. The reason I am very specific about saying 2022 is that when I wrote the book in 20, I mean, of course, it was a couple of years before, and then it came out in 2000. Um, People asked me, "Oh, when are you going to write another book?" And I said, "It took me 30, 40 years to write this book. I needed more experiences. And so maybe in another 30 years, I'll write a book." Well, enough has happened in the world since the year 2000. And I wanted to write the book, put it this way, the book itself remains. The new book has an additional epilogue, which is explaining what my life has been since then, what the world and how it's changed since then. And so I am not actually in what's in this new book is the old book, which stands. There's nothing that needed to be changed. But what I've added is another perspective on it so that the reader can be looking at it from eyes in 2022. Because times change us, experiences change us. And so I wanted the reader to understand how I have changed, though not the content of the book, but the way to approach it, the way to look at it, and the way to take it in.
Amazing. So it's a what do you call this? It's the book from 2000, and you put in add-ons that would actually help people being relatable with our present society right now. And that's a good one. That's a good one. All right.
Well,
I think yes,
Red,
girl.
Red has sent me a question to answer.
Yes. So the question
What
I
can you see it? Okay,
yeah, I
what
see it.
kinds of is that being shown on the screen?
Yep.
The question. Oh, okay. Um, in many ways, it's some of the same issues. Um, and the reason I say that is that recently I did a program for the USA Environmental Protection Agency on
Mm-hmm.
resilience. And the person that I was working with is a non binary trans person
Okay.
who has been a colleague of mine for the last probably 10 years. And that was a very important issue and to deal with because some of these same issues are about honesty and about letting go of doing what the other people want you to do. And it's embracing. I mean, the process for a trans person is incredibly difficult given the transphobia that has emerged, which has been part of a whole history in this country. But it's gotten even worse because politically it's being used as oh, we can attack that area. You know, you can't attack LGB, but you can attack the T
Yeah.
because there are many people in the LGB community who are transphobic as well. And so there's a kind of double whammy because there isn't as large a group of people you can look to who will support you.
Right. So pretty much what do you call this? The transition is kind of difficult, you've mentioned, and I understand that we do have our support system at some point, but whatever you're experiencing personally, it's just it's just it's you who will be taking care of it. So I do understand what you're actually sharing to us, and that's a good one. Thank you so much for answering that, Harold. Thank you, Red, for your question. Any parting words, Harold, that you would like to share to our viewers, or probably any programs that you will be joining that you would like them to watch you?
I can't say about any program since I'm also in the middle of a transition, having moved here to Mexico at my age. Because
Oh,
at 87, it's a little daunting to change, countries, but it's a great time here with finding a lot of people here to share things with.
right. That's amazing. You have an amazing life, and with the credentials, with the things that you've what do you call this, shared to the people, credentials and everything. The 87 years that you are here on Earth is and and add-ons for the next years to come. I would say that it's a what do you call this? It's a great one. You definitely make a mark, and I hopefully in my 30s I can also do something like that for the people. 'Cause I'm also planning to probably like write something for the book, and I love what you mentioned about write about the experience, not just the experience. I'm gonna from the experience, yeah. I'm gonna
Um,
keep that with me. Thank you so much for your time, Harold. I think I was able to provide or ask you the questions that I prepared, and this actually concludes our interview for today. So, everyone who is watching us right now, we have Harold Kooden, author of the book Golden Man: The Power of Gay Midlife 2022 edition. You may grab a copy of his book, available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. And again, thank you so much for your time, Harold. And as we say here at Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you, Harold. You have a good one. Have a great
Thank
Thanksgiving.
you.
Thanks, everyone.